Cool. So, all right, this is what I like to call the mentoring session with my new friend, uh, Melanie. So this is exciting. This is what I love to do, and if I can help you, just I can get to help more people, and that's why I do what I do. So you can't put it up, then I could just share my screen.
Yeah.
All right, let me share my screen. Let's see, share screen. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is what I like to call this is what we're doing. We're setting the framework up now for you to actually build a real audience. Right? So this is what I like to call the genesis of superfan building. And this is about all about having a core audience because at the end of the day, that's really what this is about. This is really about not necessarily trying to appeal to the masses. It's more about appealing to your said audience. And a lot of artists, what happens is they go to the studio, they make all these records, but they have no idea who they're making records for. Unless you
Yeah.
just want to make a bunch of records and listen to them all day and they're cool and hey, that's a nice record. No, you want people to vibe to this. You want people to actually want to support you. And so you have to actually be intentional with everything that you're doing. But before you could actually start creating and I'm not saying not to create. So don't get it. I'm not saying not to just not. If you are inspired to create, create. But always know that you have to always think about who am I doing this for? What problem am I looking to solve? You know what I mean? With the people that are listening to my music, right? So before you can do that, you gotta actually know why you're making music
Yeah.
in the first place, right? So this is called the artist profile, and this is really about who you are, right? So uh, this is we're going to describe yourself as an artist and who you seek to be perceived by your buyers or fans. So that's what type of artist are you? What do you stand for? What are your personal values? How do you want your art to be perceived? What difference do you want to make in the world for yourself as an artist? Position yourself as the artist versus competition. That's your positioning statement, aka your competitive advantage. That's what's going to set you apart from everybody else trying to do what you're doing. The thing about
Yeah.
entertainment and music is there's no shortage of people in here wanting to do what you're doing. You know what I mean? So you have to know what separates you from the next artist. That might just be as talented as you, but there's something special about you that makes it that makes a difference. You feel me?
Yeah.
So we got to figure out what that stuff is, and then what key messages are you looking to promote to your buyers and fans. I wish you could see this, but you're not able to pull up the sheet. But um, are you able to pull it up or no? You weren't able to pull it up.
Let me try on my iPad again.
Try your iPad because I mean, we could. I mean, of course, this is being recorded, so you can always go back and just fill it in later. And when I
Yeah.
send it to you, so okay, so what kind of artist are you? Like, and don't worry about the 140 characters or less. Like, this is originally designed to be just for social media, but the 140 characters really that matter to me. It's just more about I want to know like what kind of artist are you? Like, how would you describe your artistry?
Are you asking or
I'm asking you. No, I'm asking you. Yeah,
well,
I'm gonna I'm gonna let you do the work. I'm coaching you.
okay. Okay. So like
All
what
right.
kind of
So can you
artist
see the hold up? Let me open this. So, hold on. All right. Can you
because I
still
can
see? Can you see that?
no.
Okay. You can't see the screen. Hold on. You can see it now.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I guess you can't see it at the wide full screen. All right. No worries.
No.
We'll keep it. Like,
What kind of artist am I?
right. So let's go back. Yeah. So let's go back up to the checklist. What type of artist are you? Like, what do you stand for? Like those type of things. You know what I mean? Like, what are your
Yeah.
personal values? Like, Think of what. So when I say what type of artist are you, like that's what I mean. I don't mean just like, oh, I'm a R&B act. Like that's surface stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. I
we
feel like I'm more of like an authentic artist, and like I really want to like dig deep into like with my music so that people can listen to this and relate to it,
right,
and it can be understanding for everybody.
right. Okay, okay. That's cool. So what made you? What? Why did you want to start making music in the first place? Let's start there. Like something. Obviously you're born with we were born with the gift, but it's like there's something that has to trigger you to like really want to like, okay, I want to create art, like I want to make music. Because again, people are in this. And sometimes people get into and this is not you per se, but I'm just saying in general. People get into this industry because it's the cool thing to do. You know what I mean? Like that's why I just did I'm about to do a post later about trendy versus talented.
Yeah.
I mean, some people in this bit are not. They're not talented. They're doing this because this is a hustle for them. This is a
You
this
know, a
is
lot of like with the guys, they just wanna they dress the same as the the other guys, and it's
yeah.
just like,
This is not because they really love music. Like, okay, well they're like, oh, football didn't work out for me, or basketball didn't work out for me, or so we just they weren't necessarily blessed with a gift to do this. And I feel like unfortunately because of the way the internet is today, you
yeah,
don't have to be
everyone
right. You
else.
don't have to be really talented anymore. You just have to know how to hustle hard.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that because the trend. I mean, look, the trendy stuff works. I'm not mad at it, but I always say the people in the long term who are doing this for the right reasons and who was given a real gift. And you got to think about
somebody's always
you got to think about the trade off, right? So the trade off is
yeah.
if someone like you who's really talented,
Okay.
it's gonna take longer for your career to take off, just because you're really genuinely gifted. You're not necessarily doing what everybody else is doing, and you're having to find that tribe of people who want to actually hear your real artistry,
Yeah,
right? Do you feel like
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Do you
I
feel like
do,
that's
and
who you are?
I honestly feel like I'm going in the right path because my family said, they gave me harsh criticism when I needed it, and
Uh-huh.
um, just hearing their approval, saying that this is actually like her niche, like this is what she can do.
Hmm.
That's motivation for me. And the reason I started making music is because I couldn't find music to sing along to. I
Hmm.
couldn't find covers to sing. It would always have to be Christina Aguilera or Adele, Aretha,
Right.
or it was just not what you hear now on the radio. So
Right.
that's why I decided to make music so I can write for myself. And
Right. Because you didn't hear the stuff that like inspired you. You know.
well, yeah,
Or
but
you
like
did.
voice wise, vocally, I
Right.
couldn't. Well, back then my voice was a lot deeper, so I couldn't
Right.
really hit like
Right.
the pop song going on right now. So
Right.
that's why it's Christina Aguilera, because she had that
Yeah. She
that
got a real voice. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
got a real. I've always said if you think about all the ones that came out within that era, right? So between '99 and 2002, right? So it's or 98, 2002. So you have Britney Spears, who I've always said is like she's a
Beyonce.
performer. I
Yeah,
don't think she's a great singer. You know what I mean? She's a performer, and there's a
yeah,
difference. There's definitely a difference. There's
yeah.
definitely a
There's a
difference
huge difference.
because
Yeah,
I would put you know I would put J Lo in that case too. I think J Lo is a great performer.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I think
She was a dancer.
Sierra, great performer. Not great, and again, there's no knock on them. It's just that's just what it is. I don't think they're winning singing competitions, but they can get on that because at the end of the day, they know you make your money on the stage anyway.
Yeah,
In the studio, we can make you sound decent, real decent enough to where it's where people aren't gonna hate your voice. But if you can't get it done live,
Yeah.
Live is where you're going to really connect to the people. So I think that's why Christina, you look at like a Jessica Simpson who was kind of around the same time. She could sing. Christina can sing. But
Yeah.
talk about Britney. Britney really wasn't really a singer. She's a performer, and it worked.
Yeah.
Back then they built their core audiences, so that's why they can still work today. You know, because Britney can still. I mean, she's been in the game 20 years already.
Yeah.
Crazy, you know what I mean? And I don't think
Yeah.
she's 40 yet. Probably close to
Well,
40 now. But you same thing with Christina. Christina's almost been in the game 20 years.
yeah.
So and we're being a known act, and who knows? And obviously, Christina been in the game longer because if you think about it, I want to say Christina was in a Mickey Mouse Club,
She was.
so they've been in
Which
the
is
game as far as like, and Britney and Justin Timberlake, all them.
yeah.
So it's like they've been in the game well over probably if you want to factor it, they've been in the game,
Since
you know,
they were teen.
30 something years.
Yeah.
Or more, yeah, 30 something years professionally. I take that
Yeah.
back. But I forgot about that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I forgot about those groups that were those early groups that they were in, and you never knew back then that they were going to be stars. You never really
Yeah.
knew, but it was interesting. But yeah, you got to know, why you do what you do. You got to know you know why you make music. Why is it that people should care? And
Yeah.
like I said, the beautiful thing is like you don't have to be, you don't have to have that superstar look that I think so many, especially, and it's harder for women because you guys are always at a disadvantage because you have to look a certain way. Guys,
Yeah.
we can get away with certain things that women can't get away with.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's certain
Yeah.
things that you can't really wear on the stage. It's just not flattering. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's just certain things that it is what it is. And when you get into this industry as a professional, then there's certain things you just have to be willing to accept. But
Yeah.
thank God that you now, because of the internet, like think of if you were, say, trying to come up during the game where you had to go to a record label first, a lot of
Yeah.
these artists wouldn't. A lot of these artists who don't necessarily have that superstar look, that it factor, because the reality is a lot of people don't have the it factor. The it factor is everybody don't have the it factor. That's why Beyonce is Beyonce. She got the it factor.
Yeah.
That's why Jay-Z was Jay-Z. That's why Justin Timberlake, they have the it factor. Everybody's not born with that. Everybody don't have that. You know what I mean? So thank God that because of the internet now, you don't have to have the it factor. You just have to have that tribe. You just have to
Yeah.
figure out that tribe. And that's what we're setting up here. We're setting up the framework so you can build your tribe. So you can be intentional with everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
So you don't have to feel overwhelmed because you don't have a song that's charting on Billboard right now, and you can't be successful because the masses don't know who you are. I
Yeah.
want to change your mindset and basically say, don't worry about whether the masses know who you are or not. That's not important. That's not important because fame is something that nobody sets out to do. And if you ask a lot of celebrities, I'd be willing to bet that they probably don't like the fame too
Hmm.
much. Because at the end of the day, there's so many stuff, so much that comes with that. They probably wish they could just be normal and be regular, go to a restaurant and have dinner with their family and not be bothered by a bunch of people. Even though, there are a lot of great things that come along with that. Is it really what it? A lot of times we only see the things that the cameras allow us to see. You don't
Yeah.
see the stuff that goes on behind the scenes.
And I feel like that's what some of the, other artists that are in my situation, they only see what's on the camera, like
Right,
what's on their phone. And they're like, oh, I can do it. Like there's
right,
nothing,
right.
you know, and it's
You
not like
realize real
that.
quickly that like you know back then you own you only saw the finished product. People did not want to see a developing act on the stage. People
Yeah.
didn't want to.
And
Go ahead.
yeah, I feel like when you say that, Janet also really molded that for everybody else to me, because she would record behind the or like, you know, on the stage and, you know, the behind the scenes, you know. I feel like that really opened the door for a lot of people.
Right. I think before, you know, they wanted to see the finished product, the finished artist. You know,
Yeah.
nowadays, because it's so much of direct to fan, they want to connect to you. They want to see your struggle. That's why I always tell artists to record everything they're doing. Record you in the gym. Record you writing songs. Record the whole process of everything. Even if the majority of the footage you don't use, but like record it, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, like show people the process. And like I think I told you this before, you got to fall in love with the process,
Oh,
not the
yeah.
end result, the process. I think so many
Mhm.
people want to get to the end result so fast that they don't realize it's about the process. It's the journey. The
Yeah.
journey is what leads you to the success, not the. It's like baseball, right? So I'm a big baseball fan. So if you go to college and you get drafted and you play college baseball, and then when you get drafted, they don't send you right to the major leagues. They send you to instructional ball. They send you to the first level. They say,
Mm-hmm.
can you compete here first before we send you to the next level? You got to be able to compete and excel at the lower levels before you get to be basically graduated to the next level. Now, some guys just have the ability when they come in. So if you, or they don't like, you're just too good for the instruction. They may send them to instructional ball or single A ball for a couple of weeks, and then oh, he's just really good. We need to just fast track you to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, double A or even triple A. But it's like nobody comes in the game hitting home runs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think so many artists today, because they have followers and they have all these people that quote unquote, oh, I'm ready for the big time. Really? Are you? When we put you up on a stage in an industry showcase, are you gonna be forgettable? Are you gonna stand out? Like, you know what I mean? Those things have to, you got to think about those things. You know, just because you have followers and just because you have all these things on the internet, it's cool, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you are where you think you need to be. You
True.
know,
Yeah.
and so many again, nobody wants to do the process, the artist development. The artist development, well, you know why? Because it takes a long time. And people want to
Yeah.
get to the money quick. And they don't want to
Yeah.
go to the grind of the process of like actually getting better and learning and getting better at their craft. They
Yeah.
say it takes 10,000 hours to be a master or something,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
why don't these young people? Why don't y'all want to put? Like, when I say y'all, I would just mean your generation. Why do they want? Why don't they want to put the 10,000 hours in? They don't want to put the 10,000 hours in.
Yeah.
They want to just put a couple of hours in.
Yeah.
You know, I've been at this journey since I was 19 years old. I'm 33 now, right? So, and it took me all the way up to 2000 and really 16 to really start seeing somewhat of success, and I had to restart. You know, and that's when I went
Yeah.
to Full Sail. Like that was a restart for me, not because I didn't know the industry, but I had to just. It was an internal restart for me, so I could get my juices flowing again. And I've been able to do some really awesome things and experience some really awesome things. Um, some really awesome things post graduation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you gotta fall in love with the journey, and
Yeah.
don't get so caught up in I gotta get there so fast. I gotta get there so fast. You know, because you gotta realize that a lot of artists, man, the reality is they're not gonna get to that top of the mountain at where they think they're gonna get to or at the level they're gonna get to. But they gotta understand
Yeah.
that there's still levels of success along the way.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I
And
said,
um, Timberland shared a video of Tyler Perry saying that um, what they won't post in the media is how, you know, how did you get to this level of success?
right,
Because he was in his car, and now
Yeah.
he's like almost a
When
billionaire.
you think about it,
And
Tyler Perry, right? So Tyler Perry he had been doing those plays since '93. What year were you born?
95.
So he been doing plays longer than you've been alive,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I was about 8 years old around that time. So you think about it. You think about it. So he said he would go so hard with these plays and prepare so hard, and 12 people would show up. 12 people would show up. Imagine if he would have quit if
Yeah.
only 12 people showed him. But he believed in what he was doing. He believed in the process of what he was doing. He believed in the ownership of what he was doing.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody wants to get signed to a record, get signed to a record label. Tyler Perry, one of the reasons why he created his studio was because he knew that he had to control the message. And we're going to get back down. That's part of this worksheet a little bit later on down the worksheet. Um, he knew he had to control the message because he knew who his audience was. Back to, like I said before, creating a framework for what you're doing. You got
Yeah.
to know who your audience is.
Yeah.
He knew that I'm talking to black people primarily from the South, right? So
Yeah.
he knows that if you go to some of these bigger studios, they're going to want to, if they're putting the money up, if somebody else puts the money up, they get to control what you do. They put the
Yeah.
money up because it's their investment.
Yeah.
That's why David Dad said, like, hey, like, that's why he's like, yo, like, when you put the money, when somebody else puts the money up, you can't complain when they want to have a say so and what's going on with what you're doing. It's their money, right?
Yeah.
So, but he knew the importance of I have to control the narrative here. So I'm going to build my own studio. I'm going to tell the stories my way because I know
Yeah.
how black people from the South and in church. Okay, so there's two separate dynamics. There's two different dynamics there. Not only from the South, because my grandparent, my mom grew up in New York City, versus I grew up in Orlando, but Orlando is not really the South to me. This is a metro. You think
Yeah.
about it. San Antonio,
Yeah.
where
My
you from?
parents are in Mississippi. Like
Oh
they
yeah,
grew up
you're
in
dead.
Mississippi.
Yeah, so you're really Southern. So it's a whole different thing, right? So church culture, all that stuff is really, it's different from being from the North and being from the
Yeah.
South. It's just different, right?
Yeah.
The city life versus the Southern hospitality type of deal
Very
is
country.
it's very, 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 very different. So he knew that I gotta control the narrative here. So the only way to do that is for me to go into the chitlin circuit, basically. Start doing these
So
plays in these small towns. Okay, this
okay.
this is the same formula that a lot of artists could use to be successful.
True. True. True.
He said, I'm gonna go to the small southern towns and build this thing up. He knew he probably wasn't gonna make a lot of money, but the long term approach was I'm gonna have people that care about my message, care
Yeah.
about what I'm doing. In the long term, I get to control and keep ownership. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I get to control and keep ownership of what it is that I'm doing. I get
Yeah.
to make sure the story's told the way I want it to be told. Right?
True. True.
So
Yeah.
again, people post their successes on the internet. They don't like to post the fail. They don't like to. Oh, you don't see a lot of times the failures that people are going through. And this is why I'm
Yeah.
always trying to tell people: do not compare your career to somebody else's career because you don't know what they've had to go through to get there, and all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. It's not really just one quick fix, and you can do what they're doing. The reality, it might take some people 5 years to make it. It might take some people 10 years to make it. It might take some people who knows how long.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors that factor into your success. It doesn't mean you stop going. It doesn't mean that you don't progress. It just means that success is relative, man, and you have to celebrate the small wins just as much
Yeah.
as you celebrate the big wins. And only people only to me always want to celebrate just the small wins all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So cool. So all right. So let's go back to that. So what kind of artist are you? So explain that to me again. We digressed a little bit, and that'll happen throughout the course of this call. But uh, but we'll get it figured out.
Okay.
So what kind of artist are you? Let's go through that again.
Authentic. Um, authentic. Just I want to be relatable and just very true to the music.
Okay.
Never like creative aspect that I can show to
Right.
people.
Okay. Cool. So that's cool. So let's go back up here to
I'm more of a writer, so like I can't really like think on top of my head like some good stuff, but like
right. So you want and this works too for writers as well, but um, and sometimes writers who don't necessarily have some people end up putting their own art out just because of the fact that they don't have anybody else to write for. They're like, okay, I want to get my message out, so I got to put it out. You know what I mean? So because at the end of the day, even though somebody else might be singing your songs, you're still the artist. You wrote,
yeah,
you're just delivering your message.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So either way, you're the artist because they're delivering your message.
yeah,
So never don't ever think that because somebody else is singing your song that you're just the right. No, you're still the artist. You
yeah.
know, So always remember that. All right. A positioning statement is an expression of how a given product or service or brand fills a particular consumer need in a way that its competitors don't. Positioning is the process of identifying appropriate market niche for a product and getting it established. Okay, so what would you say? So here's what it's all about right here. So your positioning statement. So how would you describe that? So Melanie Moscato, that's your artist name, right? So that's how we're going to refer to it. Not you. So what would you say? What would you say is your brand position? Now let's go back to the other one we talked about. Remember, let's read that again. This is why I want to go through that again. So their brand position is this is their brand statement. So for young adult college students who are eager to make a difference in their community by forming a youth mentoring organization. So that's who they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now what they do. Success Connections provides the guidance, information, and support they need to successfully organize, launch, promote, and fund their local organizations. And this is who they're looking to also serve. Young adult leaders that seek to actively engage and impact other youth in their communities find find the guidance and support they need in our books, workshops, and training videos. That's what they are, what they do, who they serve. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So you got to think about it from that perspective. Who's Melanie Moscato? What does she do? And who are you looking to serve?
Yeah. So
That's it.
Melanie Moscato. So what? How I thought about
And,
it
and
when I
write this down since you don't have it, but just write it down so you can actually like see it. I don't know if you get like type it in your notes or something.
okay.
Because I'm not writing anything down. I'm just coaching you.
Okay. So how I thought of like my stage name was Melanie McFarland is like, the
Or
chill girl.
okay.
You say
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. And then Melanie Moscato is like how I am when I'm on Moscato, like
Okay.
bubbly and like I can talk to anybody
Right.
and we'll be friends in like 5 minutes.
Right.
It's just
So
that
your personality definitely shifts when you kind of
yeah,
yeah. Right. You're like when you're and that's cool. Like when you're on the stage, when you're in artist mode, let's just say artist mode. Like Melanie McFarland is a chill person.
Yeah, she probably won't even get on stage. Like literally, that's it. But yeah.
Yeah, because you gotta love people. You gotta have a great you gotta have a person because people have to connect to you.
Yeah, and I feel like Melanie Moscato has a way of making people feel like we've been friends for a lifetime.
Right.
Yeah, and my music when I do that, it's just it's an out of body experience for me because I love it and it's like a numbing feeling.
Right.
Like my bones are fire, you know, it's just I love it. That's why I do it.
Okay. 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 So remember what we said. Who you are, what you do, who you serve. So let's break that down. First part. Melanie Moscato is So there's three parts to this statement, by the way. There's three parts. Like I said, who you are, what you do, who you serve.
Yeah. So I'm writing, what I'm thinking about is Melanie Moscato is the outgoing side of Melanie McFarland. She is...
But we're not gonna, take that back. Don't even worry about Melanie. We're not gonna talk about her. Like that's not part of the statement.
Okay.
So that's not part who you are. Like this is strictly you in artist mode. So this is not necessarily who you are in, people don't really necessarily, they care about Melanie McFarland, but I don't really care about that right this second.
Yeah.
I'm strictly caring about your artistry. So Melanie Moscato is, now.
Well, what I want to say is funny. So
go ahead and say it. We're having a good time.
Like she's a bad bee.
Okay, go ahead and say it. Go ahead and be. Well, go ahead and be authentic.
Melanie Moscato is a bad bitch, and she goes for it, and it's always a good time with her.
Okay.
So in the studio or like when I record in my room, it's just a party. Even if I'm by myself, it's a party. Like that's how I write songs. Like
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay. So that's who you are. Now what do you do? So can we have to actually piece this into actual statement? So, but before we do that, we gotta figure out the whole thing, and then we'll break it down and actually piece it into a statement that makes sense. This is your elevator pitch, basically. This is an elevator pitch.
Got it.
So
So what do I do? Melanie Moscato. Okay, so Melanie Moscato writes from the heart, and it's real, it's honest, it's relatable, it's like setting reasonable and attainable goals.
Okay, so Melanie Moscato's a bad bitch who writes music from the heart, right? Am I on the right? I'm gathering what you're saying here, right? So,
yes.
This is the process. This is not as easy as people think it is.
I laugh a lot.
People think it is. It sounds easy, right? It sounds really easy until you figure out that it's not so easy.
No.
It's not so easy. But a lot of artists skip this part because it's not, this stuff isn't sexy, man. This ain't being, this isn't creating music, but this is the stuff that you got to know. Because if you don't know this stuff, you can't effectively create your marketing strategy and your marketing plan. You don't even know why you're making music. You see why this is important?
Yeah.
So look,
Yeah.
all these marketers on Instagram, they're like, oh, let's put all these ads on social media. These are like, okay, I'm cool with all that. That stuff is cool. We're gonna put a bunch of ads on Instagram and Facebook and put your stuff in front of people. That's great. Put out a bunch of content, that's great. But for me, we gotta start at the root. If this is really gonna work effectively, and you want to have a core. Remember, what do I always talk about? A core audience. So we got to
Yeah.
get to the root. We gotta build from the tree. Got to be planted in the ground, so that when the rain comes and the thunderstorms come, the tree is still standing up strong because
Yeah.
we planted it into the ground safely.
Mm-hmm.
So it might sway to the side. It might bend, but it ain't gonna break because it's rooted down there real good. You feel me?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so your core audience is what's going to allow you to be around. This is why, like we said earlier, Brittany, Christina, all the people, they can still perform and tour and do all the things that they're doing, you know, and because one, they have catalogs, and two,
Yeah.
they got core fans that will always pay money to see them. Look at
Yeah.
Backstreet Boys. They've been around. They've been around close to 30 years. You know, they've been around 26 years, right? And they're still have people. They can still sell out stadiums to this day
Yeah.
because they have a core audience that cares about
Yeah.
them still. And these guys are probably in their mid 40s already, close to 50. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Nick Carter's the youngest, and he's probably close to 40 now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you figure, yeah, a lot of those guys are in their mid to late 40s. You know,
Yeah.
so or at least early 40s, but pretty close to it. So that's why it's important to do this stuff now. Okay, so back to Melanie Moscato is a bad bitch who writes music from the heart. What else?
Writes relatable music
Writes
from the heart.
relatable music from the heart. Are you writing this stuff down?
No.
Write this stuff down because we're gonna have
Okay.
to piece this thing. We're gonna have to piece this together in a minute here.
Okay. Okay. Music from the heart. All right. And then what else? And then it's the positioning, right? The
hmm So remember, it's who you are, what you do, and who you serve. That's how I look at it, right? Who you are,
yeah.
what you do, who you serve, aka who's your niche.
Hmm. Okay. So what if I say she wants to attract people that have felt out of place in life, that don't really, feel comfortable in their own skin?
I love it. I love it. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
Um,
We're gonna get all your thoughts out. We're gonna piece this together. So don't so
okay.
just get all the thoughts out, and then we're gonna go back and we're actually gonna put it. We're gonna put it together. I make you do the work. Trust me, it'll be worth it because you're going to be setting yourself up for success.
Okay. So let's see if it makes sense. So Melanie Moscato is a bad bitch that writes relatable music from the heart. She wants to attract people that have felt out of place, that don't feel comfortable in their own skin, and she wants people to feel as if they belong in this cruel world. And she wants music. She makes her music so that we can all sing and dance our heart out.
Okay, I like that. I like that. So let's tighten it up a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So Melanie Moscato is a bad bitch. Read it to me again.
Melanie Moscato is a bad bitch that writes relatable music from her heart. She wants to attract people that have felt out of place in life.
From her heart, period. Okay, stop there. From her heart, period. That's one part of the statement.
Okay.
Okay. So that's okay. So that's are we still on the who part or are we on the what part yet? So Melanie Moscato is a bad bitch who makes music from the heart.
That's what. And then the positioning part is
Oh no, this is all the positioning. This is all positioning together. This is the whole thing together. But so
okay.
she's a bad bitch who makes music from the heart.
So
Keep going.
attracting. She wants to attract people that have felt out of place.
Okay.
Um, she wants to make them feel comfortable in their own skin.
Okay.
And she wants to make them feel as if they belong. Because growing up, I felt out of place and I felt like I didn't belong.
Okay.
And
So cool. Okay. So
I know what it's like being the outsider or being bullied. And, I
right.
say that and I tell people that I've been bullied. They're like, yeah, right. No, you weren't. And I'm
Right.
like, yeah, I didn't look like this.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I like that. So Melanie Moscato is a bad bitch who makes music from the heart, and I don't have the statement in front of me, so that's why I haven't memorized it, so I'm always trying to make sure I remember. So make music from the heart. I'm just trying to piece together. So that way,
Yeah, she wants people.
make
How
music
do
from the heart. Read it to me again.
she wants to attract people that have felt out of place.
Music from the heart. And okay, so there's a comma after that. So when you say make music from the heart, or you wanted to end the sentence right there, or you want to continue it? It's just all is that last attract people out of place. Is that still part of the who? Remember, it's who you are, what you do. It's who you are, what you do, who you serve. So I'm just
Yeah.
trying. Okay, so
So
read it to me like that. You feel me?
okay. Okay. Melanie Moscato is a bad bitch that writes relatable music from the heart. She wants to attract people that have felt out of place, uncomfortable in their own skin, and wants them to feel as if they belong in a cruel world.
Perfect. Boom. Right there.
Cool.
That's the best.
Yeah.
That I like that right there. Who you are.
Cool.
Melanie Moscato's a bad bitch. So let's read it again.
Okay, hold on. Let me fix it because I just
Yeah.
went off my head. Okay, so Melanie Moscato is a bad bitch that writes relatable music from the heart. She wants to attract people that have felt out of place, comfortable in their own skin, make people feel as if they were comfortable in their own skin, and wants people to feel as if they belong in this queer world.
Okay, it wasn't quite clean enough, but do one more time.
Okay, so. Melanie Moscato is a bad bitch that writes relatable music from the heart. She wants to attract people that have felt out of place, make them feel comfortable in their own skin, and wants them to feel comfortable. No, well, wants them to feel as if they belong in a queer world.
Okay, that's a good statement. It definitely. I mean, it says who you. It says who you are, what you do, and who you serve. So that's how you. If somebody asks you what you're about, that's basically what you would say. Who are you as an artist? What are you about? So if I come up to you and say, "Hey, Moscato, cool, I like you. Nice to meet you. Tell me about yourself. What are you about?"
I'm a bad bitch.
Hey, just like that. No, but seriously, like, so imagine if I'm meeting you out somewhere, and if I'm meeting you somewhere, and I say, "Hey, man, tell me about yourself. What is this that you do that you're about? What you're about?"
Yeah, well, I'll be wearing like a fly outfit, so I'll be like, well, as you can see, I'm a bad bitch, and I make music, and I want to attract people to be their authentic selves, and I
Well,
want
see,
them to
that's not
feel
we.
as if
No, I want you to tell me the statement we wrote down. Now,
okay,
now you're. I don't want you to. I don't want you to veer off from what you just wrote. See, that's. I wanted you to actually repeat to me what we just came up with, because that's your elevator.
okay,
That's your elevator pitch.
okay,
So you think about it, you may only have, think about it. You might meet somebody at an industry event, and they're in the elevator with you. You only have a minute,
yeah, yeah,
so
okay,
you can't really go too much in depth. This is a quick boom, boom.
okay,
You know what I mean?
so yeah, yeah.
So
So who is
so hey Melanie, how you doing? Just saw you. We saw you at the event. You know, uh, tell me about yourself. What did you do?
okay? Well, Melanie Moscato. Well, What say that?
No, you'll just
What
say, "Hey,
do
I'm Melanie." No, you won't say. No, you'll say, "Hey, I'm," like you'll talk in first person. So
Okay,
talking first. You could talk in first person, but you know what I mean. Like, "Yeah, I'm Melanie Moscato." You know, keep going.
okay.
I'm a
I'm
bad bitch.
Melanie Moscato. I'm a bad
You
bitch.
gotta be authentic. People gotta believe you. So when you say, "Just say, hey, I'm a bad bitch," and they gotta,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
really. I'm telling you, it's gotta be believable.
Okay.
It's gotta be believable.
Okay. Okay.
Go
So,
ahead.
okay. I'm Melanie Moscato. I'm a bad bitch. I write relatable music from the heart. I want to attract people that felt out of place. I want to make them feel comfortable in their own skin, and um, I want people to feel as if they belong in this cruel world.
See, that's perfect. You're letting me know exactly who you are, what you're about. Hopefully, like I said, you have the outfit on. You're in artist mode. You know, but see, people, I get a decent idea of who you are. That's your competitive advantage. That's why people should care about you. You feel me?
Yeah.
You see why that's important? Because there's some people out
Yeah.
here that make music, but why should I care about you? Because this is all going to
Yeah.
be, when you're making your marketing strategy, we got to make sure that those are the things that we're talking about. We're making things that are going to appeal to those girls that you're talking about. Those girls. Key messages in your art. What key messages do you want to use to promote your music to your buyers and fans? I.e., hashtags. You know, just overall the tone of your music. What messages do you want to portray in your music to the people who connect? So they something that they can connect to. That's key. That overall sets the tone for for what is it you're trying to do.
I use a lot of the passion, like passionate type. Like I'm very passionate about my music.
Okay.
Very
So,
well, I mean, can I use like producer? Because not a lot of artists,
well, we'll say it
they
like this. So, when you're making songs, what's the overall? What are some of the subjects you like to talk about? Messages you like to deliver? Because you're delivering a message in your music, right?
yeah.
So, what would you say
Hmm.
some of those messages are? And is it consistent throughout? Again, you made it, the delivery may the cadence may change, everything, all things may change, but when it comes to your overall message, like what are some of those messages that you want to like the song that you did the video for? Well, I can't remember the name of it.
Okay.
What's the name of the song? Remember? Say it again.
Remember December?
Remember December. Okay, so what was Remember December about?
That was about a relationship that happened in December, and it was probably like the best time of my life with someone.
Hmm.
And of course, guys always mess it up, so we wrote a song about it. And it's pretty much saying, yeah, all the good times that happened in December. And I just want him to remember that he lost me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's kind of like going through all my music. If you listen to Pink Smoke, that was literally about my ex. So,
So you like to talk about you know relation,
relationship.
relationships, uh, and relationships in a way that so is it mostly heartbreak?
Guys are like, they don't get it. Like, why would you like break up with me or like lose me? Like,
Right.
hello,
So a lot of your songs are about love, about well, not necessarily love, but you just say
break
love,
up.
breakups.
Yeah,
So is there a message that's more dark?
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
pretty. Yeah,
So you so so basically so you're talking about so you're talking mostly to a woman, to females. I would say you're talking to mostly women who go through a lot of breakups and uh
and it's pretty much always like a toxic relationship,
right.
and it yeah,
And so maybe talking to women who make that mistake over and over and over again.
yeah,
They pick the wrong
yeah,
type of dudes.
literally, yes,
Okay.
all the time. Yeah,
Okay. So you see where I'm going with that? So like
yeah,
so we want to so basically you're talking to women who talking about you talking to women who are in relationships or get into relationships that they know are bad for them, and they make that mistake over